me against someone else and beating them. And if you can't get off the ground, then I can wrestle fuck you for 15 to 25 minutes, and that's your bad. Next fucking camp, work on your wrestling. Get it together, bitch.
No, I feel that 130%. I actually hate stand-ups, and the fact that they stood them up when he was in lockdown, I hate that. Even though Anderson was just holding him there, he wasn't trying to advance a position, but they shouldn't, I don't know.
But it's just like a wrestling match, dude. If no one's doing anything or no one's improving their position, then it's a fucking stalemate and start over, you know? It's like, that's just the name of the sport. It happens in wrestling. It happens in other, combat sports. Like, if no one's improving their position, no one's trying to finish the fight, or no one's trying to escape, then, you're just fucking laying there. So stand them back up and...
Yeah, but I feel a lot of the crowd going nuts and a lot of the stand-up shit was just, people wanted to see that fight on the feet because they knew that was Anderson's only opportunity to win. And obviously DC's not going to do that. I mean, dude's a world champion, dude's an Olympian. He knows how to strategize.
It's the same thing, though, if dudes are dancing around for 15 minutes. People are going to boo them, you know what I mean? People want to see action, so, and that's the thing, 5 minutes after the fight, Brock Lesnar did the same thing, but people weren't booing because he was ground and pounding, you know what I mean? You take a look at Mark Hunt's face after the fight, they weren't booing because Brock was, punching the shit out of him. DC wasn't doing that, so, they're going to boo because they paid money, they want to see action.
Yeah, and I think DC is the baby face that is heel because everyone hates him. He's got the John Cena effect. Dude should just go full heel on like you said, not apologizing and all that. But the fact that he apologizes and he wants everyone to like him, that's why they boo him more.
Yeah, but some people just don't have that in their DNA, and they're not fucking intelligent enough like Chael to realize that this is what's gonna, people are going to hate me, but at the same time, they're going to love me. It's like The Rock back in the day, you know what I mean? People fucking hated him, but they loved, I can remember being at Monmouth and watching Monday Night Raw with the guys on the team and just, dying because of this, calling people jabronis and, fucking talking about his $500 shirts and shit. People love that shit. And, Chael knows how to do that and push the right buttons where... you might hate me, but you still secretly love me, and just someone like DC doesn't have that in his DNA, or he fucking can't wrap his head around it, so, I think the only time he was close to doing that was after that one fight where he just yelled, "John Jones, get your shit together," and then he walked away.
Yeah, no. I think he's a soundbite type dude. I think he's got a decent grasp around it. He's an avid pro wrestling fan, but, hasn't put it to fruition just yet. Is there any other fights on that? Oh, what did you think of that Amanda Nudes Miesha Tate fight?
I was so exhausted by that point, it just didn't even really matter, and the fact that was the main event, it just shows how weak that division really is. That the belt has turned over fucking 3 times in the last 6 months. There's no one dominant in that division, and with the exception of Ronda, who we might not ever see fight again. But I don't ever really recall seeing Amanda fight. So I didn't have anything to kind of go off of. But I kind of had a feeling that Miesha was not going to fucking retain that title for long, just because of the way that she fucking got beat up by Ronda 3 times. She just had a good fight against Holly, but it is what it is. I don't particularly get into the women's fights as much as I get into the guys' fights for whatever reason. It's not any slight to them, and if that's what they want to do and they like beating each other up, then that's cool. But I don't know. I just don't enjoy it as much as watching the dudes fight.
No, I don't enjoy it, and I don't like seeing the aftermath of what Miesha Tate looked like after that fight. I hate watching that. I understand that, they want to do that. That's cool, but I'm kind of on the same side there. But that was one of those fights that I thought that fight was lost at the weigh-in, or just like leading up, watching some of the videos. I just felt that Misha was taking her too lightly, and kind of felt at the weigh-in Misha looked overwhelmed by the whole situation.
Well, that was the same thing with the weigh-in with Ronda and Holly. You know what I mean? Like, Ronda tried to do her fucking typical bully shit, and Holly was like, "Nah, not happening today, bitch." So, but I don't know. All in all, I felt like it was somewhat of a lackluster card. You know, reminded me of some of those cards that we've watched previously in the years past, where it was all hyped up and you know the fights were kind of a bust. So it happens. You know what I mean? Like, just you put two people in there and money's on the line, and you know they get. You know, it's just like watching the state finals. You know how often are or the NCAA finals. You know what I mean? Like how often do you see guys going after it like you see them in the quarterfinals or the semifinals where they're fucking fighting for their life? You know, they're usually pretty boring and pretty lackluster because there's so much at stake and so much on the line that no one wants to commit to something big and make a mistake and possibly cost a point or two. So, you know, it is what it is, but we got another good one coming up, hopefully with Woodley and Robbie Lawler, and, you know, we get to watch, hopefully, Nate Diaz put a beating on Conor McGregor again here in August. So the ship keeps rolling on, and you know there's so many fights now that you know I think they did their best to put together a good card, but you know that's the way it works out sometimes.
Yeah. Before we finish up here with that UFC card, I just want to touch on what do you think about the whole Johnny Hendricks situation, not making weight and not looking like himself and fighting like himself anymore.
Well, I think them not making weight is just completely bullshit. It's just like, you know, like you've been a wrestler your entire life and you know what it takes, and like to see like athletes that are at that level that are still not like taking the time to fucking do things the right way or hiring people to help them do the things the right way is just ridiculous. Like, I was watching, you know, one of the girls from New Jersey that made the team for the Olympics in the 800 meters, you know, 2 days after the Olympic trial, she posted a fucking picture on Twitter of her eating a bowl of Frosted Flakes. You know, so it just blows my mind that that professional athletes are still out there and they're just doing shit completely the wrong way. And like, you know, for someone like that who's been a wrestler their whole life and they're still like eating shit and fucking binging and purging and like not taking care of themselves, it's just, that's your bad, you know what I mean? Like, so if he gets cut, then, you know, or whatever, he gets what he deserves, because at this point in time in this dude's career, there's no excuse for him to not make weight. You know, it's just is what it is. And when we do things here live, folks, sometimes we drop calls, and that's just what happened. But we're going to keep this shit rolling. Oh, we're back. Bro, you can't be moving around in the middle of a podcast. We're doing this shit live. Can't be dropping.
My phone's about to die. I was going to go plug it in.
So then just get up and go get your charger and do that.
Dude, I didn't realize that.
Fuck, bro. We're trying to be professional here.
Dude, whatever. So what are you talking about? Just the way people eat?
Just that, and like the other thing, like what Chael was saying, like, dude, you're a wrestler. Why do you think you need to stand up and bang with people? Like, stick to what got you there. You know what I mean? You're one of the better, if not one of the best wrestlers in the UFC. Like, I don't know. And then the fact, you know, I think part of his issue is that he doesn't have a team anymore. He doesn't have a training camp. Like, supposedly,
I think that's the biggest issue.
I mean, it's definitely the biggest issue. Like, if you're left to your own devices and you've been a knucklehead your entire life when it comes to your weight cutting and your diet and nutrition, you know, where like fucking you know, John Smith is, you know, telling people at the local Wendy's or Burger King, you know, to be on the lookout for your fucking Papa John's, whatever it was, or he built like a chair out of Papa John's boxes, whatever he was talking about that one time. Like, You know, there's a lot of those wrestlers that just have that dumb old school mentality where they just eat like shit and then they fucking starve themselves, you know, to try to get ready. And like you and I both know that you're not going to get your optimal performance out of that. So, you know, he shouldn't have a problem making 170.
I think, dude, also you're looking at someone who's been cutting weight their whole life. He's been probably doing it the wrong way his whole life, obviously, if he's not making weight now. And I bet his body just fucking doesn't want it anymore. Does not want to do it anymore. You know what I mean? And
yeah, but if he ate the right way, he wouldn't have to cut weight, and he would probably not be as far away from 170, you know what I mean? Like, it's not like he looked good on the scale.
Never, but, like, I think that's a dude whose body is fucked up. And needs some, needs some fucking deep Paul check fucking weird shit, like, detox shit. Like, that's a dude whose digestive system is probably fucking garbage. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying?
I hear you. Johnny Hendricks, if you're listening and you're in Stillwater, get your ass down to Oklahoma City. We'll get you dialed in real quick, brother.
Yo, make it happen.
You know what I mean?
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a bummer, though, dude. The guy was, you know, I mean, he, in my opinion, beat George St. Pierre pretty good.
Yeah.
You know, and I think just life happens sometimes. You leave your camp or whatever. You think you can do it better by yourself or whatever. But in that kind of grind and that kind of sport, like, you need the right people surrounding you. You need the right support. And, you know, if you're not going to be committed to doing that, then maybe you should, you know, save your brain and go look for something else to do.
Yeah, that's a shame, man. We've always been fans of Johnny Hendricks. He's like one of the best interviews out there. Comical. I don't think, you know, maybe for the wrong reasons, but we've always been a fan of Johnny Hendricks.
Dude, I've been a fan since like his sophomore, junior year in college, where I was out at the national duels in northern Iowa, and they were wrestling Minnesota in the finals. And he was just putting a clinic on this dude, letting him down, taking him up, and he let the kid up, took him down. They went out of bounds, and there was like less than 10 seconds on the clock, and he went to show the referee that he was going to let him up again. And the coaches were like, no, stay on him. And he was like, shook his head. He's like, waved them off like, I got this. And he fucking let the kid up and took him down in less than 10 seconds. And it was just, ever since that point, I was just like, this dude's a badass.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Hopefully
you can find a camp and get that back to the wing column.
Yeah, just even not get your shit together, get your diet in order, start living right. You're a professional athlete, you shouldn't be eating fucking fast food. Or Frosted Flakes. Ajay Wilson, 800 meters, Neptune, New Jersey. Get it together. You're better than that. So I had an interesting change in direction here a little bit. I had a little interesting interaction on Saturday evening. I got an opportunity to, I guess, pay it forward, if you will, kind of do a good deed. As you know, I have the ability here. I'm fortunate where I have, several restaurants here in Oklahoma City where I can basically eat free. And we were going to my favorite burger establishment here in Oklahoma City, Tucker's, OKC. Might even be better than In-N-Out. I'm gonna go on record.
Yeah, I'm gonna go on record saying In-N-Out sucks.
I wouldn't go that far, but
it's overrated.
I wouldn't even go and say that far. I was thoroughly disappointed when I was out there in March with you and we went to that place in San Marcos. That was by far the worst In-N-Out experience I've ever had. But I am a Tucker's faithful here, and once you get out here to Oklahoma City, I'm going to take you for an onion burger, show you what's up. But anyway, so yeah, I have the opportunity to basically eat for free at several restaurants here in Oklahoma City, and we pulled in. We were going to get a burger real quick before we went to go see The Secret Life of Pets. We can get into that too, but as we were walking up, to the restaurant, we pulled in, and as we pulled in, there was a gentleman who, looked to be down on his luck, to say the least. And he started going in, and he's like, "Hey, brother, I'm from LA, blah blah blah." And I was like, "Hey, man, what's up?" And he's like, "If you could